Hello everyone, welcome you all in today's my video. In today's video, I will provide you solution of all sections of your civics chapter 3 parliamentary government and the union executive. In this chapter, all objective sections I also provided you in my previous video. So today's video I will give you only question answer solutions. Okay, so section E, answer the following questions in 10 to 20 words. So first question of this section is, what are the constituents of our parliament? Okay, so answer is, the parliament consists of the president, the council of states means Rajya Sabha, and the house of the people means Lok Sabha. Question 2, what is a money bill? Answer is, a money bill can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. The upper house may suggest changes. If the changes are not accepted once the lower house send it to the president it to sign it. Question 3. Who appoints the minister in the union government? Answer is, the prime minister is appointed by the president, who also appoints other ministers on the advice of prime minister, the council of collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. Answer question 4. Who appoints the governor? So answer is, the governor of a state shall be appointed by the president. Last question of section E. Question 5. Name the 3 categories of ministers in the Council of Ministers. So answer is, the 3 categories of ministers in the Council of Ministers are cabinet minister. Okay. The second level of the Council of Ministers are the Minister of State, and the third category is of deputy ministers. Okay. सो यहाँ पे आपका जो सेक्शन ई का क्वेश्चन आंसर था वो कंप्लीट होता है. लेट्स प्रोसीड नेक्स्ट सेक्शन एफ. सो सेक्शन एफ, आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस इन 50 to 70 words. सो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ सेक्शन एफ इज, what made our constitution makers select a parliamentary form of government? So answer is, our constitution makers selected the parliamentary form of government because of the following reasons. The parliamentary form of government ensure that the power is not concentrated in the hands of a single body. The power is divided in 3 parts: executive, legislative and judiciary. Familiarity with the system, preference to more responsibility, and need to avoid legislative executive conflicts. Next, question 2. Enumerate the qualifications for election as the President of India. Answer is, the Indian Constitution says that the presidential candidate must be a citizen of India, have completed the age of 35 years, be qualified for elections as a member of the Lok Sabha, not hold any office of profit under the union or any state government, and or any local or other authority. She or he should not be a member of the parliament or state legislature. Okay. Question 3. What is national emergency? Answer is, national emergency is declared by the president if India's security is threatened by war or external aggressions or armed rebellion, or if there is an imminent danger or threat under Article 352. President can declare emergency only on the written advice of the cabinet. Once approved emergency shall operate for a maximum period of not more than 6 months. Okay. Next, question 4. When is the president's rule imposed on a state? Answer is, the president rule can be imposed on the ground of failure of constitutional monarchy machinery in the states, or when states do not comply with the direction given by central government. Article 356. The proclamation must be approved by both the houses within 2 months of the issue, and once approved it continuous for 6 months. Okay. Next, question 5. Explain the meaning of financial emergency. So answer is, financial emergency is if president is satisfied that the financial stability or credit of India or any part of the state is in danger, then he can issue a proclamation declaring financial emergency. President's satisfaction is subject to judicial review. Question 6. How and under what circumstances can the president be removed from office? Answer is, the president of India be removed from office on the ground of violation of the constitution. She or he can be removed by the parliament by the process of impeachment, which is mentioned in the Article 61 of the Constitution of India. The process of impeachment includes the following steps. First, specific charges have to be brought against him or her by a two-third majority of the house. Second, the other house investigate the charges. 3. If the investigating house also passes resolution with a 2/3 majority sustaining the charges, the president is removed. Okay. So यहाँ फिर से आपका जो सेक्शन F था उसके क्वेश्चन आंसर कंप्लीट होते हैं. लेट्स प्रोसीड नेक्स्ट सेक्शन. So next section is section G. First question of section G is, bring out the difference between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Answer. First, the Lok Sabha is also known as House of People or Lower House. Rajya Sabha is also known as Council of State or Upper House. Second difference, members of Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people and it exercises the real power on behalf of the people. Members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the Legislative Assembly of each state through proportional representation. Number 3, Lok Sabha has a maximum of 552 members. At present, there are 545 members, out of which two are nominated by the president from the Anglo-Indian community. Rajya Sabha has a maximum of 250 members, out of which 12 are nominated by president who have earned a distinction in the field of literature, art, science and social service. Fourth difference, the term for Lok Sabha is 5 years. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. However, 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years. 5. In money matters, Lok Sabha exercises more power. Rajya Sabha has the right to only suggest changes or delay the bill for 14 days. It is up to Lok Sabha to accept or reject the changes. Okay. So next question 2 of section G. So question 2 is describe the various stages through which the bill has to pass. So answer is an ordinary bill passed through the following steps to become a law or an act. So first is introduction and first reading. When a bill is introduced in the House, it is called first reading. At this time, the objective of the bill are explained and the MPPS decides whether to accept the bill for future debate. If it is accepted, it is assigned a number, printed, and scheduled for debate for second reading. Each member receives a copy of the bill and the debate is usually scheduled for several days later, giving MPPs times to study the bill. Second reading. During second reading, MPPs debate the principles of the bill. They are each allowed to speak only once during this time. After the debate, the MPPs vote on whether to let the bill proceed to the next step. In some cases, the bill may move directly to third reading, but often it is first examined by a standing or select committee. The bill can be in the committee stage for a few days or up to several months. After review by the committee, the bill is reported. Next, back to the house. Back to the house, it may be sent to the committee of the whole house or directly to final debate. Okay. Third reading. During third reading, MPPs debate the bill for the last time. Following the debate, the speaker calls for a final vote about the proposed law. Royal assent. If the majority of MPPs vote to make the bill a law during third reading, it is presented to the Lieutenant Governor for royal assent. This procedure is called royal assent because the Lieutenant Governor is agreeing to the bill on behalf of the Queen. This last step officially make the bill a law. Okay. Question 3. What role does the civil service play? Answer. The civil service merely frame the policies, but the actual implementation of those decisions is carried out by the civil servants. They are the official working under various departments other than the armed forces. These services exist both at the center and at the state level. The civil servant take care of the day-to-day administrative tasks in their respective departments. They are ones who carry out the policies of the government. They are the backbone of administration. Hence, the efficiency of the administration depends on the efficiency of the civil servant. He also presides over the meeting of the Council of Ministers and can change the decisions according to his wishes. He also controls and directs the activities of all ministers. Question 4. Why is the post of Prime Minister considered to be an important one? Answer is, the Prime Minister is the real executive authority of the country. He appoints many officers as the head of many constitutional institutions. The Prime Minister recommends the names of members of his team to appoint as a minister. The President can only make those people as minister whose names are recommended by the Prime Minister. Prime Minister determines which department will be given to which minister, and he can also change the allotted department of any minister. He can ask any minister to resign or advise the President to dismiss him in case of differences of opinion. He can bring out the collapse of the Council of Ministers by resigning from office. Okay. Last question. Question 5. Discuss the legislative power of the President. Okay. So the President exercises the following legislative power. The President addresses the first session of the Parliament after the elections. Second, she or he has the power to summon or close the sessions of the Parliament. Third, she or he can dissolve the Lok Sabha. She or he can also summon a joint sitting of both the houses of Parliament in case of a deadlock between them. Fourth, a bill passed by the Parliament can become a law only after the President signs it. 5. The President can issue ordinances which have the effect of a law when the Parliament is not in session. Okay? So यहाँ पे आपके सिविक्स चैप्टर 3 का सेक्शन ई, एफ और जी सभी के क्वेश्चन आंसर कंप्लीट होते हैं। मुझे आशा है आपको आपके सभी क्वेश्चंस के आंसर मिल गए होंगे और लिखने में किसी तरीके की परेशानी नहीं हुई होगी। सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग। हैव अ गुड डे।